Heaven and earth were gloomy, dark clouds loomed overhead, endless thunder roared and resonated. Scarlet lightning flashed countless times in the dark rolling clouds of smoke, black clouds swirled like vortexes, lightning balls descended from the center of the swirling vortexes one by one. These lightning balls were strangely shaped, resembling porcelain products as large as a water tank and glowing with red light. Grand Tribulation, Red Porcelain Lightning Ball Tribulation. The lightning balls smashed down and erupted with crisp explosions. On the ground, an immortal goo house silently suffered from the damage caused by the explosions of the lightning balls. Large pieces of debris continued to fly into the air before turning back into the corpses of countless goo worms. Inside the immortal goo house, Wu Shuai endured the sound of rumbling thunder in his ears and inspected himself first. He found that he had turned into an Earth Path Rank 8 Goo Immortal. He had wide fingers and a large stature. His battle robe was already covered in damage. And not far from him there was a female immortal standing on the ground. Her face was pale and her aura was not only weak but also a little strange. She was using a certain light path healing killer move and thus was covered in a layer of holy white light. But on her face, exposed arms, legs, and feet, dark path Dao marks that resembled ink lines appeared. These dark path Dao marks were so dense that they reached the extent of a rank 9 immortal material, creating Dao mark light. Goo immortals could see it with their naked eyes. The female immortal had clear rank 8 cultivation level. A light path rank 8 Goo immortal who had such a quantity of dark path Dao marks, it made Wu Shuai very surprised. And more peculiarly, the female immortal's dark path Dao marks were still transforming. Not only did they increase in quantity, their arrangements and positions were rapidly changing too. The female immortal grunted. The killer move activation was successful. The halo around her stabilized while the dark path Dao marks were also temporarily suppressed. The female immortal was sweating profusely. She opened her weak eyes to look at Wu Shuai, smiling bitterly. I can't be saved. This is my strongest healing method, but it can only temporarily suppress the injury. When the time limit of the killer move is up, the injury will explode with terrifying power. O Zheng Yang, my most beloved, I can no longer accompany you. You have to live well, the female immortal said, tears flowing down her cheeks. No, there must be some way, there must be. You must never give up hope. This peaceful soil-heavy mountain fortress of mine is made up of all the immortal goo I have. It can be considered to be number 1 in defensive power in all of history. We still have time. You have to keep working hard. I will always be there for you, Wu Shuai shouted with tears in his eyes. This was the natural development of the dream realm. He could not control it. But after this conversation, Wu Shuai gained control of the body. Peaceful soil-heavy mountain fortress? Never heard of it. Wu Shuai's eyes shined with bright light. Using the conversation earlier, he analyzed and searched for clues. He inspected his own immortal aperture. There was quite a bit of white lichai immortal essence in his immortal aperture. There were also a large amount of mortal goo, but no immortal goo. Like what Zheng Yang had said, he had used all of his immortal goo to construct this rank 8 immortal goo house, peaceful soil-heavy mountain fortress. Which means to say my biggest reliance is on this damaged immortal goo house. Wu Shuai had a realization. He started to try controlling this immortal goo house. Peaceful soil-heavy mountain fortress had a complex structure. It used 100 million goo worms, among which there were more than 20 immortal goo. Even Wu Shuai could not tell what the core immortal goo were at a glance. These immortal goo were cleverly positioned and had a mysterious relationship with each other. The design of the goo house was as profound as a towering mountain range spreading across the entire countryside for 10,000 li, connecting heaven and earth. The mountain range had overlapping layers of intertwined mineral veins. Wu Shuai was like a mortal goo master mining the mountain range. He had to excavate it layer by layer to uncover the minerals he wanted and figure out the connection between the ore veins. Just analyzing this immortal goo house itself is a huge difficulty. Furthermore, I need to rely on this immortal goo house to defend against the red porcelain lightning ball tribulation. Wu Shuai's heart sank. He knew that this exploration was going to fail. As expected, the following developments went as he had predicted. Red porcelain lightning balls continued to explode as Wu Shuai tried to use his immortal goo house and slowly fix it. But it was useless. His understanding towards this immortal goo house was too low. Even if he wanted to fix it, he had no idea where to start. Eventually, the red porcelain lightning balls destroyed the immortal goo house. Wu Xia and the female immortal became the sacrifices of the tribulation's fury. After leaving the dream realm, Wu Shuai started to heal himself. This time, Fang Yuan's main body was exploring Dragon Whale Paradise. Before leaving, he had made ample preparations and arrangements. Not only did he pass the Dream Path Goo worms to Wu Shuai, he even gave a large number of Guts Goo. With Guts Goo in his hands, Wu Shuai's injuries were not a problem. This Dream Realm exploration was different from the Dragon Palace Dream Realm. Wu Shuai could explore it multiple times until he succeeded. Second failure, third failure, fourth, fifth. After 8 tries, Wu Shuai finally gained a clearer understanding of this peaceful soil-heavy mountain fortress. Even though he could not completely fix this immortal goo house, Wu Shuai was already able to repair it sufficiently to negate the red porcelain lightning ball's damage. Black clouds swirled in the sky. The red porcelain lightning balls gradually thinned out until they completely stopped. But within the black clouds, a second grand tribulation was starting to brew. The female immortal sighed, "It was my fault for not listening to you. I went to search for the location where reckless savage demon Venerable died. In the end, I caused this curse to occur and lead to an unceasing wave of calamities and tribulations. This is my just desserts. Zheng Yang, leave. I do not want to implicate you." On the female immortal's body, the halo had noticeably dimmed. The dark path Dao marks were tightly arranged, like pieces of black thread sewing up wounds, covering the female immortal's skin and face. Compared to before, the female immortal's aura had weakened a lot, and at the same time it became more peculiar. Not only were the light and dark path Dao marks intertwined, an Adam's apple was also growing in her throat. Wu Shuai had yet to analyze the situation of the female immortal when a drizzle started to occur in the sky. Even though it was a small rain, it was bone-chilling. There was a cold feeling that could freeze the soul. The heat and smoke caused from the lightning balls earlier vanished entirely without a trace. Hell, hell, hell. The ghostly cries became louder and louder before it resounded throughout the entire area. Gray threads fell from the black clouds in the sky, extending towards Wu Shuai. Wu Shuai's heart sank. He recognized this tribulation. This is the Grand Tribulation, Ghost, Spirit, Ice, Silkworm Tribulation. A Grand Tribulation occurring right after the previous one. It seems this will not end. Wu Shuai had to resist these silky threads forcefully. The red porcelain lightning balls were powerful and destructive, while these ghost spirit silk threads were soft and troublesome. Wu Shuai had no offensive methods. The immortal goo house peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress that he was relying on was also unfamiliar to him. He could not find any offensive methods that could be used. Thus, Wu Shuai watched as these threads extended towards him and slipped in through the cracks and holes of the immortal goo house. Wu Shuai tried to defend against them, but peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress was already completely infiltrated. It broke apart after resisting for some time. The silky threads wrapped around the female immortal while also attacking Wu Shuai, turning the two of them into solid cocoons. At the next moment, Wu Shuai was chased out of the dream realm. This time, he suffered heavy injuries. He saw darkness in front of him. He gulped and felt that his throat was dry. He almost fainted. Failing at the ghost spirit silk thread tribulation stage has caused tens of times the damage as before. Wu Shuai smiled bitterly. In this situation, he had to recuperate first before trying again. This injury would only be mild if it happened on Fang Yuan. It would not be severe. He could definitely explore it again. But Wu Shuai was not the same. Wu Shuai's soul foundation was only at 30 million man soul. Even though it rose later as he cultivated an eastern sea, he could not compare to the main body. Wu Shuai was a dragonman who cultivated enslavement path. Soul path cultivation was just a supplementary method. The stronger his soul foundation, the more soul path Dao marks he would have, and the more it would restrict his enslavement path development. But Fang Yuan's main body was the sovereign immortal body. It had non-conflicting Tao marks, so he could cultivate soul path alongside all his other paths. After resting sufficiently, he went in again. Failing time and again, challenging it continuously even after failure, Wu Xiao was in a difficult position. He did not have the time path clone's deduction abilities. Even though he had Dragon Palace, dreamy light smoke was not useful for exploring dream realms. The most reliable method, other than unravel dream, was the ability to recover rapidly using Guts Goo. As he slowly explored it, Wu Xiao finally had some breakthroughs and gains. After learning the general information of Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress, Wu Xiao gained the 3 killer moves of this immortal goo house. The first was called Accumulated Soil Mountain, the second was called Peaceful Burial, and the third was called Heavy Soil Comeback. The one that was an eye-opener to Wu Xiao was the first killer move, Accumulated Soil Mountain. This killer move was very special. It did not have offense, movement, healing, or other aspects. It was an Earth Path killer move that had Formation Path effect. Using this killer move, the Goo Immortal could stack Earth Path Goo worms to allow them to form an immortal Goo house. This could be done even if the Goo Immortal using the killer move had 0 attainment in Formation Path itself. Because of this killer move, there was this Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. Gaining this killer move was also the same as gaining the foundation of the immortal Goo house, Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. It was no wonder Wu Xiao could not find any core immortal goo. This immortal goo house's core was not an immortal goo, but the immortal killer move Accumulated Soil Mountain. Thus, I only need to activate this killer move and add Earth Path Goo worms into this immortal goo house to rapidly fix it. After understanding this, Wu Xiao started to repair Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress while enduring the onslaught of the Ghost Spirit Silk Thread Tribulation. Boom! The moment he repaired it, the female immortal self detonated. The force of the explosion was greater than the Grand Tribulation. Not only was Wu Xiao killed instantly, the entire immortal goo house was torn to shreds. I see I still have to take care of this female immortal. After understanding this point, Wu Xiao entered the dream realm once again. Immortal killer move, Peaceful Burial. Using this method, the female immortal was temporarily sealed, her injuries were suppressed, she was receiving treatment from the immortal goo house. After Wu Xiao fixed this immortal goo house completely, the third Grand Tribulation appeared. Purple stars fell from the sky. This was a tribulation that fused Poison Path and Star Path, Rotten Poison Purple Star Tribulation. Purple stars continued to descend and land on the immortal goo house, causing holes to form due to corrosion. Wu Xiao did his best to endure it, but even as he failed many times, this Grand Tribulation never stopped. The third Grand Tribulation seems to be unceasing. This is not normal, don't tell me. After many failures, Wu Xiao had a flash of inspiration. He tried to unseal the female immortal. Without Peaceful Burial's suppression, the female immortal went into a state of nearing death again. Zheng Yang, if a next life exists, I want to meet you again. Goodbye, my love. While Wu Xiao defended against the Grand Tribulation with difficulty, she flew out of the immortal goo house through a hole that had formed on top. Boom! She self-detonated instantly, turning into a lump of pitch-black flames, burning intensely with a terrifying aura. Heaven seemed to be enraged at once. Billions of purple stars shot down. The black flame was not large, but was incomparably tough when faced with the attack of the purple stars. Although its size was shrinking, the extent of its loss was minuscule. Seeing that this Grand Tribulation was ineffective, the black clouds in the sky transformed again. Countless lightning bolts rained down like snakes. The black flame was instantly assaulted by countless bolts. The black flame seemed to be nourished from this. It quickly expanded and grew to a mountain-like size. The black flame's appearance had changed already. It became a white gold-colored mist. The Grand Tribulation in the sky continued to transform and attack the white gold mist. The mist also transformed, turning into wind, ore, flower, grass, bird, or beast at times. What in the world is lurking in this female immortal's body? So many Grand Tribulations are unable to do anything to it. Wu Xiao was internally shook. He acutely sensed that this realistic dream realm contained a certain deep secret in history. This secret might be the reason behind the deaths of venerables. It involved the most profound secret of heaven and earth. The female immortal died, but Wu Xiao's dream realm continued. He had to survive from the aftermath of this terrifying fight. He could only rely on peaceful soil, heavy mountain fortress. Eventually, after countless rounds of grand tribulations, that mysterious black flame was slowly extinguished bit by bit. Even when just a tiny bit was left, the grand tribulation still targeted it, and the battle lasted for over an hour. What in the world is this thing? After the dream realm dissipated, Wu Xiao was still filled with deep shock. He had put in so much effort, the rewards were similarly shocking. At almost the same time as when the dream realm faded, the eyes of Fang Yuan's main body, which was in Dragon Whale Paradise, shined. "Oh, I advance to Earth Path Grandmaster.